freaking hate technology sometimes. All right, I did it. Yay. So now I can say that if you, hello, I'm live everywhere. I am live here. Let's see, I gotta go live now here. Okay. If you don't like the view here on TikTok, you can go to one of my other platforms, Facebook or YouTube, and you can watch me live there. Oh, holy smokes, I did it. Okay. Hello. Hi, and welcome to the 6-day crochet along, day 2. And the first thing I want to say is if you missed day 1, you can still participate. This isn't, you didn't really miss anything. This isn't like one of those crochet alongs where everybody is following the same pattern. This is one of those crochet alongs where everyone's working on a 6-day something, whatever it is they decide, whichever one they wanted to do. If you want to do one of the new Ridgy Didge or Tranquility Stripe, or even the Sweetheart Rainbow Blanket, I'm going to be focusing on all of those and on the Lovey patterns that I just released along with Courtney, aka Goth Fairies Creations, who made a really cute fairy lovey to put on top of the lovey to match the baby blanket. If you're not feeling like doing a baby blanket, I'm also going to be showing you how to resize those baby blanket patterns and make customize it to make anything you want. So last night I heard a comment. I have, hello Della, so good to see you, my dear. Thank you for stopping by. Last night I did a little Zoom call with a Q&A, and there weren't as many questions as I thought there might be. So I did go ahead and swatch the Tranquility stripe. So if you're wanting to do that stripe, the swatch along is up. But after I did it, there was a little something that somebody reached out to me and said, hey, I don't think you did those calculations quite right. So what I did was I measured the swatch. I think I was working off of this little blue one. Yeah. So I measured the swatch, and then we multiplied. We figured out how many of these we would need to make a 50-inch wide blanket, and then I multiplied by 21, which was the number of stitches here. But remember, we did chain 21 and then we turned, and so there's really only 20 stitches here. So I really should have multiplied by 20, but then if you do that, you may not end up with a multiple of 3. So multiply by 20 and then go up 1 or down 1 until you get the closest multiple of 3. And that's how you calculate your chains. I'm going to do a whole video about that, but just for anyone that was watching last night and saw that, that's all I have to say about that. Okay, and these are the little swatches that I made. I'm going to have a whole chart in the pattern, just like I have for the 6-day kid blanket with all the different sizes. So there we go with that. Let's see. I have a lot of different places to try and check comments, so be patient with me. If you don't hear from me one place, then find me in another place. And if you comment on YouTube, that is the best, easiest way for me to see, because it makes that little noise. It pops right up on the screen. I don't have to go looking around. The Facebook comments go over there too, but if you comment on Facebook, it does not show me your name. It just says Facebook user. So just be aware. If you're saying hi to me, you have to tell me who you are. Okay, let me close that window down. All right, TikTok. Did you go into the gap made by skipping the chain on the beginning of the first single crochet row? Did you go into the gap made by skipping the chain on that? You'll have to say which one you're talking about. Hi, yes, I'm doing great. I'm not sure I know what you mean, Della. So I'm not sure how to answer your question, but okay, TikTok, you're going up. Okay, and I always forget to do this before I put it up, but not today. Today I'm going to remember to turn off the mirroring before I do this. Whoops. Oh my gosh, don't look at my desk. It's a mess. What are we doing today? Today, I think I'm going to do a swatch along for the Ridgy Didge stripe to help people figure out how to do that Ridgy Didge. And chain 21. I don't know, Della. Every time I do it, I chain 21, and then I end up with 20 single crochet. So I don't know. Do what you got to do. I think the important part is that you have the right number of chains. Let me see. What am I trying to open up here? The Ridgy Didge. All right, let me talk about the Ridgy Didge a little bit first. So, no two 6-day blankets are alike. And that is for a few different reasons. One of them is some people like to follow a pattern, and then there are a bunch of people that like will never ever do what a pattern says. They will always want to put their own spin on it and be creative. So I have the baby blanket pattern for you. So today I'm going to show you how to take it and make a swatch and figure out how to do it with any size yarn, and make any size blanket you want, etc. So this stripe called the Ridgy Didge, we have the 6-day blanket can take on a lot of different looks depending on how you change colors on the blanket. So originally it was written with the original striping pattern is called Vivid Chevrons, and it has a contrasting color on the 2 double crochet rows, and the other rows are done in another color. So then it has this really defined granny stripe, and then it has the single crochet rows define the stripe. So that's Vivid Chevron. Then somebody decided to change colors on a different row, and that just started a whole other thing. So now we have all these different ways to make the blanket, and when you change how you stripe it, it takes on a completely different look every time. That's why people come into the group, and everybody in my 6-day blanket group is making the 6-day blanket. That's all we talk about in there. But they'll see these blankets and they all look different, and that's because it is just a really versatile pattern, and it can take on a lot of different looks. So we have these different ways to stripe the 6-day blanket, and the original, like I said, is called Vivid Chevrons, and we have something called Snowflake Effect. It seems to be like the most popular, most frequently asked for one. Viral Stripe, which is that green one behind me on the bed, was made popular by a viral photo that went viral, made the pattern go viral. And so this is the one a lot of people make because they recognize it. So that's the Viral Stripe. And then we have Australian Confetti, which is that rainbow, the Sweetheart Rainbow right there, and the Sweetheart Blanket. It has a little extra granny row with the confetti dots. And then there's another one called Popsicle. So these are 2 new ones, and the new ones are the Ridgy Didge and the Tranquility Stripe. This is the Tranquility Stripe. I call it Tranquility because it's drama free. It doesn't chevron. It's just the 6 rows of stitches, just plain and straight. Y'all have been asking me for it for years. For many years, I said, it's not 6-day blanket if it doesn't chevron. Well, like a lot of other things that I've said I never would do, I went back on this one too, and here you go. Here you have it. I mean, actually what happened is I had to figure this out for the hexagon cardigan anyways. So I thought since I figured out how to do it, I may as well give it to you as a blanket. So here you go, the Tranquility stripe. There you have it. So let this be your drama-free alternative to the 6-Day Kid blanket. And I hope you make many peaceful and cozy blankets with this stripe. The other new stripe is the Ridgy Didge. And oh my God, I took my swatch into the other room today to do something with it, so now I don't have my swatch, but I have this that I started. The Ridgy Didge has a textured row created by doing post stitches, and now we're changing colors in between rows 5 and 6, which is a place we've never, none of the other stripes changed colors there, so it's new for a couple different ways. I did go ahead, now there are options for your 6-day blanket, tons and tons of options, but one of the options is to start it with the chevron and just start chevroning right away, and then the top and bottom of your blanket will be chevroned. It'll have points at the top and bottom. And then I had people asking me for a while, how can I square it off? And I had never heard of such a thing. And I thought, why would anybody ever want to do that? And then I realized, well, if this was square, it would make it a lot easier to put a really fancy edge on it. So I figured out I wrote up a pattern for squaring off the top and the bottom of the blanket. And that's available on my blog. So you can if you find yourself with a 6-day blanket, you decide, I wish that this was square, the top and bottom was square. I have stitches for you to do that on my site. And then the next kind of development was, well, if I know before I start that I want to be square, I should be able to start with a straight line and then build my chevrons. So that is another option, is the straight start. So I went ahead and did the Ridgy Didge as a straight start because that first color change ridge happens in those straight start rows if you're really staying like true to the pattern and also true to the stripes. So just know that whenever you change something about this pattern or any pattern, it has repercussions. So even though it might seem like it's very straightforward to just change colors on a certain stripe, you do create this symmetry problem, okay? Every 6-day kid blanket starts with these granny rows and then it ends with the granny rows, but the repeat ends at the double crochet rows. So when you make your blanket, it goes repeat, 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 and then at the top of the blanket, you have to have a half repeat. So if you haven't planned for that ahead of time, you might find yourself 90% through with your blanket, scratching your head, wondering, how am I going to finish this off to make the stripe at the top match the stripe at the bottom? So there you go. But Ridgy Didge, I gave it the straight start option. You don't have to do straight start at the beginning of Ridgy Didge if you don't want to. I've given you instructions for how to do that, but if you do it, you have to plan for your stripes to match. All right. So it's a lot of talking, and I really want to get swatching. I want to start crocheting or I'm never going to get done. So that's some background about Ridgy Didge. Let me just look at my notes and make sure I said everything I wanted to say. I have so many windows open, it's insane. Let me see. Okay, yes, one more thing. My videos are not patterns. The video is not the pattern. The video will help you understand the pattern. So if you're watching this video and you're trying to make this blanket, get the pattern to go with it. Don't just try and do it just from the video, because it's not a pattern by itself. Okay, here we go. Let me put this down. And these are the colors I'm going to be using to swatch. My Ridgy Didge. So let's see. There are a lot of people that will say, well, I've never swatched in my life and I'm not about to start. There are many good reasons to swatch. And we're in the case of the 6-day blanket, you really do want to swatch because it can be a little bit tricky to get started. And you just kind of master the learning curve on the swatch rather than casting on 200, whatever, chaining 200, and then getting stuck on that. Let me check and see what this is. Stylecraft Special DK, which is what the pattern calls for. These are different colors from the actual pattern. This is Spice, Lincoln. This one lost its label, but I believe it's Toy and White. And then let's see what I used, a G and a G plus for it. Let's see what I have over here. That's an F. I don't know where my hooks go. These are eye hooks. There's an H. Okay, I'm going to use the H to chain with. So you want to start your chain with a little bit larger hook. There it is. Okay. I always start my chain with a little bit larger hook, and then I do the chain and the single crochet with the larger hook, and then I go down a hook to the hook I'm going to use for the rest of the blanket. I had someone commenting on the YouTube channel today that they do a foundation single crochet or a different type of way to start their blanket, and I'm not going to say I don't recommend that. I personally don't do it because for me, I have found that the bottom edges of my blankets really stretch out when I do that. So I don't do it. But if you want to do foundation single crochet or another way to start rather than chaining, you're welcome to do that. Another reason why we swatch is to see how the colors work together. And it just helps to do that in a little swatch of the actual stitches and see what they look like. Swatching for the 6-day kid blanket with the straight start, I want to do 2 points of the blanket. So I'm going to do, with straight start, the multiple is 13 plus 4. So I'm going to do 13, 13, and 4. So that is, what is that? 26, 30. So we'll start by chaining 30. I'm going to do my best to go slow here so that this can watch this back later. Okay, so if you when you're planning these blankets out and you want to have whatever you do with your colors, you want to plan to start and end with the same color and also do your first border round with that color. So I'm starting with this. This is going to be my border color, and it's also going to be my last color. So just keep that in mind when you're starting out. And then I'm going to swatch these 4 colors in the order. I think the order I had them in is the order that I want, but I'm going to try it. Okay, starting in the second chain from the hook, I'm going to single crochet across the row. Okay, so if you want to count them back, I counted them as I silently should have said it out loud. But if you want to count them back, it should be 29. So it should be one less than you started with. Hi, thanks for following. Just checking everywhere, see if anyone has any questions or comments. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to my smaller hook, which is a G, which I think is 4 millimeters. Hiding from the rain in Australia. Okay, set up row 2. Chain 1, 5 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 half double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 half double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then the pattern says repeat to the last 5 stitches. So that means when there are 5 stitches left, you stop the repeat and then you do whatever comes after that, which is 5 single crochet. Hello, Deborah Eaton. It's really good to see you. Hi, Mama SHIT. I'm making the 6-day Ridgy Didge. I'm just doing the swatch along so that people can take the pattern and resize it for themselves. I don't see myself in the Facebook group. Oh, there I am. Never mind. Hi, Judy. Hi, Ria. Okay, set up row 3. Oh, wow. Deborah says we're in the middle of a remodel, so she's a little distracted. Chain 1, 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 3 half double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 2 double crochet, 1, 2. Okay, so you can see, I just want to stop here real quick. You can see this starting to go up, slant up. So this is going to be the peak here. I'm going to chain 2 and that's going to be the peak. And then I just want you to check and make sure that just look down at the row below and make sure that you're splitting those 6 half double crochet in the row below at this point. So you should have 3 half double crochet on one side and 3 on the other. And that's how you kind of know that you're on track. Chain 2, 2 double crochet, 3 half double crochet, 1, 2, 3, single crochet, slip stitch. Now, I'm not sure why people have a problem with understanding slip stitch. Maybe because in knitting it's different. It just means you just slip the stitch from one needle to the other without working it. But here it means you pull the loop up and then through. That's all it is. And then single crochet. And then it says repeat to the last 3 stitches. So 3 half double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 2, two double crochet, three half double crochet, oops, I think I missed something. Yep, I only did two half double crochet back there. It should be 3. Three half double crochet. Sorry, I should have been saying the stitches. Okay, so you don't do this the single crochet and the slip stitch this time. You repeat until 3 stitches remain, and then you 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. I can actually see why that's confusing on that one. Hello, Gail Butler. Welcome. Okay, I have a color change, and now I'm changing to color B. So I'm just going to undo the last pull through of this single crochet to show you how I switch colors. Okay, I take the new color and I pull it through the last 2 loops, and then I take this end that I just cut. I probably cut it a little bit too short, but I take the 2 tails, and this is my working yarn over here, and I flip them up over the working yarn. Let me do that again. This is my working yarn, the new yarn. These are my 2 tails. This is the tail of my work when I started it. So let me just get that out of the way. 2 tails, working yarn, flip these 2 tails up and over the working yarn, and then I'm going to start my next stitch, which is a chain 1 for the next row. Okay, now see, they're kind of anchored to the work. They're not going to come loose. It's not going to come unraveled or undone, and I'll just leave it there while I complete the blanket until it's all the way done. And then I will, when I do the edge, when I work the edge, I'll put this white one, I'll send it this way, and I'll send the green one up into the green, and I'll work over them for like 1 stitch next to where they're coming out, and then I'll leave it. And then once the whole edge is complete, then I'll weave them in. That's how I do it, and I don't tie knots. Okay, so this is setup row 4, chain 1, single crochet, 2 front post single crochet. So I had someone email me and say, don't you mean back post? No, we're on the wrong side of the work. So we're doing front post, and then the ridge is going to show up on the other side. 2 front post single crochet. So I'm working around those single crochet. 3 front post half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 2 front post double crochet, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the chain 2 space. Two front post double crochet, three front post half double crochet, front post single crochet. Okay, then it says skip 1, and you should be skipping your slip stitch. Okay, so if you're on the slip stitch and that's the one you're skipping, you know you're on the right track. And then front post single crochet, and then repeat from the star. 3 front post half double crochet, 1, 2, 3. Yep, I'm doing a swatch. 2 front post double crochet, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the chain 2 space, 2 front post double crochet, three front post half double crochet, okay, until 3 stitches remain. 1, 2, 3. 2 front post single crochet, 1, 2, single crochet in the last stitch. So don't worry if you didn't get it, because I'm going to do, well, I'm not going to be doing the setup rounds again, but I'm going to be doing the ridge row with the post stitches again a little later on. That was setup row 4, and sets up the ridge row, and it's your first color change. So if you're doing multiple colors, you can do as many colors, as many stripes as you want, but just be aware that you want to go color A, B, this would be A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A. You want to start and end. So I want my stripe sequence to end with white. Okay, set up row 5, chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, skip 1, 7 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 single crochet in the chain space, 14 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then it says repeat to the last peak. So when you're making your blanket, the repeat goes from here to here. This is where it repeats. The ends are slightly different, but the repeats go from peak to peak. So it says repeat to the last peak, 3 single crochet in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, 7 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, skip 1, and single crochet in the last single crochet. Okay, it's starting to look like something. And see what I mean? It's tricky to get started, but now it's going to start flowing a little bit more. Thanks for following. Okay, so now that we've hit this, if you were just not doing the setup rows and you just wanted to start your blanket straight, or with the chevron rather, this would be your starting row. You would be chaining and then single crocheting across the row, and then you'd be meeting us here at row 2. So whether you've done straight start or chevron start, row 2 is going to be the same for everybody. And now this is basically your basic 6-day kid blanket stitches. So it goes chain 3, skip 3, and you count from the beginning, 1, 2, 3, and you make 3 double crochet in the next stitch. All right, I'm going to try and slow down. Skip 2, 3 double crochet in the next. Skip 2, 3, 3, 3 in the peak. And just notice if you're in the center stitch of those 3 single crochet in the top of the peak in the chain space. Okay, if you're not in the center there, you might have missed the skip at the beginning, at the very end of this row. You might not have skipped 3 here. So it's skip 3 and then skip 2, skip 2. Or something else might have gone wrong down here. But if you follow the instructions properly, it should work out. If it doesn't work out, you've probably made a mistake. I feel like it's human nature to say the pattern's wrong, there must be an error. But if it doesn't work out the way that it says it's supposed to work out, then go back and check, read it very carefully. Okay, now as we're coming down from the top of the mountain, it's skip 2, 3 double crochet in the next, skip 2, double crochet 3 together, pull up a loop and pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop in the same stitch and pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop and pull through 2, and pull through all loops on the hook. So the DC3 together in this pattern is a cluster. It is not a decrease. So don't be tempted to pull up a loop and then pull up another loop and then try and pull them all together. We're working a cluster into one stitch. Then we're going to skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do another DC3 together in the next stitch. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through all 4. Okay, make sure you have skipped 4 here. Sometimes people skip 3 and land in the 4th one. Skip 4 means no, you actually skip over all 4 stitches. It feels like you're skipping, like you're jumping the Grand Canyon with that skip, but trust me, it's fine. Now we're working our way back up. Skip 2, 3 double crochet in the next. Skip 2, 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet in the next stitch. And again, you want to be in the 3rd or the 2nd, the middle single crochet of that peak. And then working down, skip 2, 3 double crochet in the next. Skip 2, 3 double crochet in the next. Skip 2 and double crochet in the last single crochet. This is the difficult setup row for the 6-day blanket. So the pattern repeats basically from between the points. The edges are different. So on the side, you'll have 2 clusters of 3 double crochet, but going down, you have 1 cluster of 3, and then you have the double crochet 3 together cluster. So a common error is to think that you're going to have another group of 3 double crochet as you come down, but you don't. You have a DC3 together. So that's one thing that kind of throws people off. But if you've done the setup rows you should be like, it should be obvious where the chevrons are. So it should line up. And if it doesn't line up, don't try to fudge it. Go back and figure it out, at least until you know what you're doing. Once you've done a few 6-day blankets, you'll be able to tell when you've made a mistake and how you can, you know, kind of fudge it and fix it without it showing. But if you don't know what you're fudging, you will have an obvious something going wonky. Or it might not show, but then you'll get to the next row and it'll be like something will be way off and not work out. Okay, let's go on to row 3. Chain 3. Skip that first space, and then you're going to put 3 double crochet into each of the next 2 spaces. 1, 2, 3, and then the next. 1, 2, 3. 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet in the peak, chain 3 space. Three double crochet in the next space. Double crochet 3 together here and here. So you're going to skip this. Double crochet 3 together here and here. Three double crochet in the next space right there. Three, 3, 3 in the peak. 3 double crochet. Chain 3. 3 double crochet. Three double crochet in the next 2 spaces. So the pattern says that if you want to alleviate curling edges, to work the last stitch of the row from the back to the front. And I don't do it, like, I keep evolving or just changing my mind might be a better way to say that, but this is the only time I do it is on this row. So I'm going to work my double crochet into the space. I'm going to put my hook in from the back to the front and pull the loop up, and then pull through 2, pull through 2. I don't do it on every row anymore. I used to, but I just have found that I don't really need it on every row. Okay, row 4. Chain 1, single crochet into the first stitch, skip 1, single crochet into the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 single crochet into the chain space. 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next 14 stitches. 1, 2, 3. So you're basically going to go all the way down and back up to the next chain 3 space. Three single crochet into the chain 3 space. Eight single crochet. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You skip 1, skip this one, and then single crochet into the top of the turning chain. And I do go into the chain there. I could go into the space, but I just feel like my edges are straighter when I go into the top of the chain. And also I worked into stitches all the way across this row. So I feel like the right thing to do is work into the stitch at the end of the row. On this row, I worked into spaces all the way across the row. So for that reason, it feels right to work into that space. But if you want to work into the space here, you can. That's just the way that I think. It's just a little attention to detail. Let me check and see if people are comments. Hi, Angie Lee. Hello. I have people watching in the McKnitiverse. I have people watching on Facebook. I have people on TikTok. People on YouTube. Okay, row 5. Chain 3. Skip 2. Double crochet into each of the next 8 stitches. So basically 8 double crochet. Okay, and we're counting this one as a skip. Skip 1, skip 2. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You should be at the center single crochet. We're going to do 3 double crochet in the center And then going back down, we're going to do 7 double crochet. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip 2. Okay. This is just another little cheat code to check. On every 6-day kid blanket, that last double crochet lines up between the second and third stitches of this set of 3 down here. So it always lands like right in between these two. So that's just something to look for. If you like watching your show and you don't like counting all the time like me, just know that you land there every time, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or if you count 7 and you notice that you landed here or you landed here, then something went wrong back here. So that's just a little something to check in. So every time you come down, you land in that same spot, okay? And then you skip 1, 2. Okay, now that I've said that, this is going to seem like it's a little bit crooked, right? Because this one is on the outside of that cluster, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So now it's 7 to go back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 3 double crochet in the top. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then it's 8 to go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, skip 1, double crochet in the last. Okay, and I'm not going to finish it off because we're going to change colors. I don't know why that looks like that. It's okay. We're going to put a border on it. It's going to be fine. Oh no, I did not do these in the order that I wanted to do them in because I wanted the green in between the 2 oranges, but oh well, it's fine. I'll just do this one next. Maybe I'll like it better. This is why we swatch, people. I wanted to go toy green and then orange. It's fine. All right. So now I'm going to change colors. Let me cut it a little longer this time. Pull the new color through the last 2 loops of the last stitch of the row. And then these are my 2 ends. And I'm going to flip them up and over the working yarn. Chain 1 and turn. Okay, and there I just leave them dangling there. I do not tie knots, and if I see another creator do a video about the magic knot, telling newbie crocheters to tie this magic knot, please stop calling things magic that are not magic. Magic knots, I'm not going to try and start a war here, but it really does get under my skin they do come undone. They do come undone. You have a knot that's held together by two things pulling apart on each other like this. And they say, no matter how hard I pull it, it doesn't come undone. That's because this is what keeps them from coming undone. But it doesn't stay like that in your work. It's there's no tension on it, right? You crochet it and it goes like that, and then it gets washed in the washing machine and there's abrasion on it or whatever you do with it, and you've cut it that short and it comes undone. I've seen it happen again and again, and people say, I've never had one come undone, but you don't know. You don't know because you don't keep everything you make. There. That's my lecture for the day. Those of you that have been following me probably can repeat it word for word, but that's how I feel. Okay, row 5. Already chained 1. I'm sorry, this is row 6. So I'm going to chain 2 more because it starts with chain 3. Skip the first 2 double crochet, 1, 2. And then we're going to front post double crochet into the next 8 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now 3 double crochet into the center double crochet. And these don't get worked around the post. They just get worked directly into the top of the stitch like normal. Okay, and front post, you're working from the front of the stitch and you're working around the post of the stitch. I don't think I really explained that before. So it's 7 going down, but you're working around from the front, around the post of the stitch. If it were back post, I would be working from the back like that around the post. This is front post. Work from the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, and I just want to give a shout out to Diane. We call her D. Louise. And she's the one that came up with this Ridgy Didge color change on row 6 with the front post stitches. And there are some other creators in our community. Erin Boom, we call her, Erin Boom Iska. I'm not even sure what her real name is, but we call her Erin Boom. And Stephanie Punt Werner, I think is her name. She, or Warner maybe, she also does a lot of texture in the 6 to 8 kid blanket. And there have been people that have been doing it in the group for a while. This is the first time we've like written it down and made it an actual stripe. And I just really loved Dee's version. I loved them all, but I give everyone kind of the credit, those 3 people, for doing texture in their blankets. And we're going to do some exploration in the design workshop, I think, about some different ways to add texture to the 6-day kid blanket. I have some other things I'm working on in there too, just other ways to, last year I did a 6-day granny square. Now I want to do some different shapes and different types of things, connecting squares together and things like that. Okay, so I should be talking about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to go down, skip 1, and then double crochet in the top of the turning chain. Oh goodness. Well, all right. I'm just going into the space today, I guess, because I'm on video. I don't usually do it that way. I'd like to get to the top of the piece so that I can show you the square off rows, and I want to get done by 9 o'clock because I have my craft and chat in the membership community at 9 o'clock tonight. Okay, row 7, chain 1, single crochet into the first stitch, skip 1, single crochet. Oh, this is the best row because you just single crochet across. But don't forget to skip 1 after the first stitch and before the last stitch of the row. And somebody asked me once, how come there's not 3 in the peak and then a skip in the valley? And that's because this original pattern was vivid chevrons. So those single crochet rows were like the outline for the stripes. And they create the vivid, clear, defined stripes. Now, sometimes people ask me, what should my stitch count be on this row? And honestly, I don't really know. I think probably it should be 1 less than what you chained. That's what I think. But I've honestly never counted. Okay, and same thing at the end. You skip the last one. You skip the last double crochet. You single crochet to the second of the last one in the row, and then you skip, and then you single crochet in the turning chain. Okay, so those are the 6 rows. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now you're going to repeat 2, 3, 4, 5, change on 6, and then 7. And you're going to repeat that. That's your repeat. Hi, thanks for following. Okay, I've done that really slow, and I still have this color, and I have one more to go, but I think I'll just finish this. Let me see. Let me just see. I want it because I want to get to the top edge. Okay, so the top edge, I have to do 2 through 4. All right, so I'm going to do rows 2 through 4. I'm going to pretend this is the top. Okay, I would, if I had a little more time, I would maybe do one. Let me just do one repeat. I'll do it. I could do it fast. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so row 2. And just remember when you do your stripes that you want to plan them out ahead of time so that you can end on the color that you started with. So I'm going to want to be squaring off with the white again that I started off the row with. Whoops. Trying to go too fast. I always try to lay my work down at the end of every row. Although sometimes I don't, but I've been crocheting a lot. I crochet a lot when we do these crochet alongs, and my hands start to, definitely feel it when I crochet for long periods of time, or I just crochet a lot. Some people say that working with larger, heavier yarns is harder on their hands. I actually find smaller yarns to be a little bit harder on my hands. And I do a lot to kind of maintain my hand and arm and shoulder and neck and back and leg health while I'm crocheting. Usually I use timers, and I get up after, I'll set a timer for like an hour or 30 minutes, and I'll get up out of my chair. Every time I pull my yarn like that, I take a deep breath. That's one habit I tried to build, just to remind myself to breathe. I mean, a lot of the time we're sitting here and we're holding our breath and we don't even realize it. Row 4. Some people like to work these, this row 4, they like to work the single crochet between these double crochets. So if you do that, just know that you should only work these 2 double crochets, and then that's your 3rd double crochet right there. And then that counts as your double crochet 3 together. Okay, so just if you want to do that, because some people don't like the look of that hole that's created, just make sure you're still counting your stitches and that you have 14 between the peaks. I don't usually give that tip to newbie crocheters because it can easily throw off your stitch count. Okay, oh bummer. Well, that's what I get for trying to go fast. Hello, I'm back. I'm going to finish up as much of this as I can, and I might have to do the top tomorrow because I only have about 10 minutes left. So I'm just going to maybe finish working on this and do the last color. I wanted to just keep working on it while I was offline, but I'm on the ridge row again. So, and I'm not even sure where it stopped. And in about 10 minutes, I have my my meeting in my online community. So I'll do this ridge row fairly slowly. Skip 1. Wait, let me make sure I do it right. Skip 2. Chain 3, skip 2. Front post double crochet. This is row 6. Into each of the next 8 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The next stitch will be this top one. 3 double crochet in the top. Oh, nobody's ready to do the top of their Ridgy Didge yet. Anyways. Everyone has just started them, so it'll be okay. I'll do the top tomorrow. Skip 2. Three in the top, and then 8 front post double crochet going down the side. Double crochet in the top of the turning chain. I'll lay it this way. Okay, so I felt like it was really important on this tutorial to do more than just the 3 colors, but to show like the complete stripe in one color, and then to show how you're going to have a partial stripe as your last-ish stripe before you start the edge. So you want your colors to go A, B, C, D, A. Okay, so you want to end with the same one you started with. So your sequence goes A, B, C, D, A. You're going to be actually starting the edge with this D, with the last color in the sequence. So you're going to work this to your last color to row 4 in the repeat, and then you're going to start your edge with this color. And then just like we did in the setup rows, during the square off rows, you're going to change back to your color A. So I'm going to finish this tomorrow, but I'm just going to blow through the last couple rows right now. This is row 7, chain 1, single crochet, skip 1, single crochet, in every stitch across. You want to skip the last one and then single crochet in the top of the turning chain. Okay, let's see how fast I can do these last 3 rows. And then tomorrow I'll come back and do the top. And then what else should I do tomorrow? Are people doing the confetti stripe? Are people interested in the confetti stripe? I could do a swatch along for that. Or I could start one of the loveys. Or maybe just doing the top of this might be enough. I could do the top of this and then the edge. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll stick with Ridgy Didge and maybe do the edge. I could also do the retro rainbow stripe and show you all how I carried the yarn up the sides of the work for that. Maybe some people can let me know in the comments what they would like to see me work on. Whoops. I have 4 minutes until my meeting. Can I do it? I like these colors, but I don't like the peach and the orange next to each other. Seeing how to carry the yarn up the side and keep the edges clean would be great. Okay. Well, I will say this. Having all those colors to weave up the side, thank you. Thank you, Gail. I mean, I can't say I would rather have woven in the ends, but that was very difficult to get those edges just right. So I used DK weight yarn for that retro rainbow baby blanket, and I carried, so it's 7 colors, so I carried basically 3 yarns up the side, because you're only gonna ever be, the yarn is only, it's gonna go from one side to the other, to the other, to the other. So it's not gonna be 7 yarns going up one side. It's however many of an odd number, it's gonna be half, subtract 1 and divide in half. That's how many yarns you're gonna have going up the side. So that being said, I think 7 was too many. And I had a very hard time making it look nice and neat. I had to do it with a really tight tension. And to be honest, when it was all said and done, I wasn't 100% happy with it. But maybe if I if I was able to do it again, and I would, it might be better. I just maybe need a little practice, but I'll show it. But in hindsight, if I ever do it again, I will probably just go ahead and weave in the ends. And don't anybody say tie knots. I've already been through that rant once tonight. I do not tie knots unless it's an emergency. I just don't. I think that magic knot is a from the devil. I don't like it. I hate when I see people posting about it like as if they invented it and saying that it's like the be all end all. It comes undone. So I'm done. Okay, I got 1 minute and 1 row, and then I gotta say goodbye for my my meeting tonight. And you're welcome to join me if you would like to join the Betty McKnitiverse. That's my membership community, bettymcknitiverse.com. It is pretty, but I was supposed to put the green in between the 2 oranges, and I messed up. So in my project, I'm going to flip the green and the toy. This peach color is called Toy. I'm going to flip them. Oh, it's 9:01. So what do you do? Just add on and hide the ends someday. So what? I weave them in. I show in the video how I change the colors, and I don't even tie them at the end of the row. I flip them up over the working yarn and kind of anchor them in place, and then I weave them in at the end. When I do work the border round, I work over them for maybe 1 or 2 stitches. I'll show that tomorrow. How about if I do that? I'll finish this up. I'll do a little swatch with the 7 colors working up the sides, and then I'll do some edges. I'll do that tomorrow. All right, I gotta run real quick because I got people waiting for me. Bye. Hi, hello everybody. Betty McKnit here on day 3 of the 6-day crochet along. Hello and welcome. I'm live on all the different places, but once again, for some weird reason, my camera is not connecting to the overhead. And I did come in here early to try and set it up and everything, but it just, for some reason, it is not connecting right away. But I have found that if I wait a little while, I don't know what it wants, but sometimes if I wait for a little while, it just goes ahead and pops up. I don't know what the deal is. So I'll just talk for a few minutes because we all know I'm really good at talking. And I'll just talk about what's going on. This is the 6-day crochet along. And on day 1, let's see, what did I do? I did I swatched for the 6-day tranquility stripe, which is the one that doesn't chevron. It just goes straight back and forth. And we measured a little bit, and I did it in 4 sizes so that I could make the chart like what I have in the regular 6-day blanket pattern that gives you some the options, the resize options, so that you can make your 6-day tranquility stripe blanket any size you want with any yarn that you want. So there's that. Oh, hold on, I haven't done this. One more thing I have to do. Let's go live over here. Do not mirror the video. Go live now. All right. I don't remember having to unmute in the past, but there it is. Okay. We'll see how that goes down. Okay, so that was the first day I did this. And then let's see. Yesterday was day 2. And I started on this. I wanted to do a complete swatch along. This is the Ridgy Didge stripe. So I wanted to do a complete swatch along for this, but when I was on this 3rd stripe, my internet went out. And so I had to stop. So today I'm going to be finishing this and doing the, see how it's like straight at the bottom and then it chevrons up. And then, so I'm going to finish up this swatch and I'm going to do the flatten it off on the top, and then I'm going to set that aside. But you'll have the replay video. That'll be all the places, so you can go back when you're ready to do your Ridgy Didge swatch. That will be there for you. I messed up and I wanted to put this green in between these 2 oranges, but sometimes I just do whatever on lives. I forget what I said I'm supposed to do and I get nervous and I just grab stuff. So that's what happened. But the green, I was supposed to do the peach first and then the green, but anyways, I messed it up. And then if I complete that, yesterday, we'll see how I'm doing on time. I'm not sure I'm going to have time to start this today, but I'm prepared to start it. I'm going to swatch again for the Ridgy Didge, but I'm going to change colors on every row, which is what I did on the retro rainbow baby blanket. And so, hi Hessa, hi Andrew. It's good to see you all. So I'm going to change colors every row, and I'm going to show you what I did and how I carried the yarn up the sides on that project. So I didn't have a billion ends to weave in. And honestly, I'll show you all how to do it, but my honest opinion on it is that if I do it again, I'm just going to weave in the ends. But I'll show you how I did it anyways, because I did put it in the pattern, and you can make the choice for yourself. So that's my goal for today. If I don't get all that done today, I'm going to try, I'll finish it. I'll do it tomorrow. This is just day 3. So there's still today and 3 more days. So there's, hi Debbie. There's no rush. Okay. This is the 6-day kit blanket. Is the 6-day projects are called 6-day, not really because they only take 6 days, but because the first one only took me, oh, thank you for the heart. That's so cute. I'll be like those AI and be like, I don't know what they do. What those people do. I don't know what they're doing. It's such this weirdest thing. But yeah, that trend. But yeah, thank you. That's so cute. Andrew says, "Oh Lord, no." Oh, ice cream. Thank you. I guess they get paid a lot of money. That's why they do it. I don't know. They say they make like really big, they get lots of gifts by doing it. So I don't know. Anyways, what was I saying? If I don't get to the retro rainbow with carrying the yarn up the sides today, I'll do that tomorrow. And also in this 6-day window, I'm going to start on one of the loveys. I'm going to work on the Ridgy Didge lovey, and then maybe, I don't know, because I haven't really heard much from Goth Fairies, but maybe she'll show up on a live and talk about her fairy lovey that she made for us, the cute little fairy with the bun, the blue hair and the bun and the wings, and it's really cute. And she did that for me to match these blankets. And we have a Ridgy Didge lovey that matches the blankets, and it's a nice little set you can make for a baby if you want to. If you don't have a baby in your life and you want to Ridgy Didge the star blanket, then I haven't written that up yet, but you could start with the lovey and kind of figure it out. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that lovey. And hopefully there's enough time for me to show some of the edges too for the blankets, because I did 3 new blankets. They're all sitting right there, but they're just like piled up. That is the Ridgy Didge, and then that is the retro rainbow, and then that one right there is the sweetheart rainbow, which I guess I should swatch for that too. So maybe that, if there's time, that will also get thrown in. But anyways, let's see if my camera's working now. I talked quite a lot. Yes. See, it's just like, it just needs time. I don't know how much time that is. That looks like that was about 9 minutes. So maybe it needs 9 minutes. I don't know what it wants. God help me. Help me. Technology, for crying out loud. Oh, good grief. Please, now it's frozen. Don't ask me what it wants. Do not ask me because I do not know the answer. I don't know the answer. Let's close this. Maybe that's the thing. It's bothering it. I'm afraid to do that because then, oh my gosh, it's frozen. Okay, I'm just going to try and give it some time to think. And I'm going to close up a couple windows because it does seem like there's a very heavy load on the computer right now. There it goes. Yes. Okay. So waiting, being patient is sometimes the way to go. Let me put some stuff on my hands. You know, I don't like to talk about my appearance a lot, but I really am, of all things, like I am self-conscious about my nails right now because I had to take them off and I had to give them a break, which I have to do. The whole reason I wear acrylic nails is because my nails are really thin on their own, and no matter what I do, they always break and split, and um and so that's why I wear the acrylic nails. And I always, I like my hands to look so cute in my videos, and I'm not wearing my nails right now because I had to, I can only wear them for so long, and then I have to take them off and give them a break. Also, my hands are a little puffy right now, so um and I see my face is puffy too, but I do have a condition called lipedema, and it's a lymphatic condition. There's a lymphatic component, so swelling is just something that happens to me and to my body. And so, yeah, right now I'm just like doing a little lymphatic drainage on my hands. And I use this oil, this lymphatic massage oil is what I use on my hands to kind of keep the swelling. Hello, hi, I'm doing great. Hi, Amber. All right, what did I say I was gonna do? I'm gonna finish up this Ridgy Didge. So let me go ahead and put TikTok up above, and then I'll talk about the Ridgy Didge blanket. Someday I'll figure out how to do TikTok and do the live, with the same view as the other stuff. So, okay, here's what I got. And this yarn is Stylecraft Special DK, and the colors are white. And this one is called Spice. And this one lost its label, but I believe it's called Toy. And this one is Lincoln. It's like a sage green. Okay, I'm not going to actually need the Toy and the Lincoln today, I don't think, but okay, so this is a continuation from the video that I did yesterday, and that video is in two parts on my YouTube channel, but I'll just explain again. Whenever you alter the 6-day kid blanket and restripe it, other than how it was written, which the original had the double crochet rows are the contrasting rows, the rows with contrasting colors. So it goes uh, two, row 7, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 double crochet, and then 7, 2, 3, 4 are one color, and then 5 or 6 are another color. Thanks for sharing the live. Appreciate you guys so much. So most people don't realize, because I'll just say it, you all don't read the pattern all the way through to the end. You get started and you forget. And I feel like this is true because a lot of people ask me, how should I edge? Or they come in the group and they say, does anybody have a suggestion for an edge? Well, most of the patterns that I publish have an edge already in a border that I designed myself. So people should say, how do I design it? How do I do it in my edge? Well, it's there in the pattern. It also says in the pattern that you're supposed to end on row 4. So this is row 4. So a lot of people like to do the repeat 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and finish the repeat on row 7. So then they have these stripes that go along with the pattern repeats. And then what happens is you end up at the top and you still have to do these 4 rows. Well, now you're going to have half of a stripe in a different color if you've done with it. So whenever you start altering a pattern, just know that there might be repercussions. Like, think ahead and plan ahead. And this is actually so weird because I'm looking at this on 2 different screens on my I'm looking at 2 different views of this on my monitor. And on TikTok this looks yellow, but it's not. It's like a really pretty light peach. And on YouTube it looks more true to color. So if you want to see it more true to color, I don't know why that is. But anyways, that's what's going on. So the Ridgy Didge, we change colors between rows 5 and 6. So those are the double crochet rows. So if you're going to square off, I included the square off because we change colors between row 5 and 6, and that kind of corresponds to the row in the square off section. Okay, so that's why I included it, because I thought if you're going to square off, you're going to have to make you're going to want that ridge in in the middle of the square off and straight start section. Okay, so you want to line up your colors in order. However many colors you're going to use, you go A, B, C, D, and then plan to end with A. So when you're planning and you're measuring out, if you follow one of my patterns, I did it for you. But if you don't want to make a Ridgy Didge baby blanket, you want to make a bigger blanket or something else right now, and you want to change colors for the stripes, and even though it would look great in a solid, and it also looks great in cake yarn. I have people doing it in cake yarn in my group right now, and it's amazing. So you don't have to change colors. But if you want to change colors and do stripes like this, you have to plan the stripes beforehand. Otherwise, you're going to end up at this top and be like, now what do I do? It's not going to match. So I'm going to make my bottom and top match with the white. So you go A, this is color A, B, C, D is your last stripe. You work it to row 4, okay? And that's where I am. And then we're going to start the edge. So the first row of the edge is actually going to be in that same color. And then we're going to square off, okay? So top edge row 1, you're going to keep the same color as your final stripe. So that's where I'm at. So, and it says continuing in the pattern that I did 5 colors, I think. So it was color E. So continuing in the color that you've already got going, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And this is top edge row 1 of the Ridgy Didge. Counting the stitch under the turning chain, skip 2. 1, 2, 4 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 half double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and notice that those single crochets should be over the single crochet that you did into the chain space. All right, and now we're going down 3 half double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 1, 2, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 3 half double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and then it says repeat from the star, so it'll repeat from here back up. Okay, so I'm just doing a swatch, so it only has 2 points, but when you're doing your blanket, you're going to repeat from here to here, okay, however many points you made, and then you just, the bulk of the instructions in the row are the beginning and the end, which are different from the middle. All right, where am I? Repeat from the star. So repeat from the star to the last 9 stitches. So that means when you reach 8, 9, the last 9 stitches, that's where I'm at, you stop the repeat. So it's not repeat from star to star. It's repeat from the star and to the last 9. So you repeat, 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 and you stop when you get to the last 9 stitches. Whether you're in the middle of the repeat or the end of the repeat, you don't necessarily always are going to repeat, continue the entire repeat with that instruction, okay? So those people say, but you're supposed to repeat from star to star, but it doesn't say repeat from star to star. It says repeat from the star until you get to the last 9. So I'm here at the last 9 stitches, and it's 3 half double crochet, and then it tells you what to do with those last 9 stitches, okay? That's just a little pattern reading. That's how it works. 1, 4 double crochet, 2, 3, 4, skip 1, and then double crochet in the last stitch. And I'm going to leave it the last pull through undone because I'm going to change back to the white. Okay, and let me just check all my stuff, my comments and my stuff. Thanks for sharing the live. You guys are so great. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you. I think I'm going to have to get another, I think I'm going to have to order more of that spice because I think I'm going to do a whole blanket with this colorway. I really like it. Okay, so I'm going to be changing to the white for top edge row 2. So I'm going to pull through my white, and then this is how I change colors. I take those 2 tails, and this is my working yarn up here, and these are my tails, and I flip them up over the working yarn and hold them to the back, with just a little bit of tension. I don't want to say a lot because I know you guys will pull it so tight. It doesn't have to be pulled tight. We're just going to anchor it in. And then I'm going to chain 3, which is the start of my next row, and turn. And it's, you know, it's anchored in there. And then when I'll leave it here until I'm done. Then when I do my edge, I'll put them like that. Okay, I will send them in the direction of their cousins, right? Or who they match, like that. And then when I work my edge row, I'll just work over those right there for 1 or maybe 2 stitches. I don't like working over my ends a lot because it shows. So I'll just work over it for 1 or 2 stitches and just send it in the direction where it will match. And then once the edge is in the border is complete, then I'll weave in all the ends. So that's how I handle my ends. And I had to take one apart one time that had been done that way, not by me, but someone else. And it was, I couldn't get it out. It's never going to come out. I couldn't get it out when I wanted to take it out. Okay, chain 3, skip 2, 1, 2, and now it's 3 front post double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 3 front post half double crochet. 1, 2, 3 front post single crochet, single crochet, front post single crochet. Okay, so the one in the middle we're not doing around the post, we're just doing in the top of the stitch. 3 front post half double, 2 front post double, did I say half double? I meant double. 2 front post double, skip 2, 2 front post double, 3 front post half double, 1, 2, 3 front post single crochet, single crochet, front post single crochet. Repeat from the start to the last 8 stitches. So I'm here, but if you had a wider blanket, you'd have to repeat. And then it's 3 front post half double crochet, 3 front post double crochet, hi. Let's see, who's that saying hi to me? I have someone covering it up. Hey, it's Pat. Hi, Pat. Good to see you. Skip 1, double crochet in the turning chain. can see how the chevrons are starting to flatten out. Thank you. Thanks for following. Are you left-handed? I'm following. Oh, because you know what? I forgot to. Okay, top edge, row 3, chain 3. I don't know why I always chain before I turn. Well, maybe not always, but I don't think it matters. Skip 2, 3 half double crochet. Now we're just working into the tops of the stitches as per usual. 7 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 half double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seven single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You repeat from the start until 5 stitches remain, so I'm there. And then you do what it says after that. So 3 half double crochet, skip 1, half double crochet in the turning chain. So is this pattern a lot different from the 6-Day Kid blanket? What's different about it is I used different yarn, a different weight of yarn. I made a baby blanket instead of a toddler size blanket. I used DK weight. It's striped by changing colors on different rows. It includes a texture row on one of the rows. And it starts with a straight edge and it's squared off at the top. Other than that, the stitches are the same. Okay, so top edge row 4, chain 1, single crochet across. looks like a lot of fun. Well, you're welcome to join the crochet along. We're having a blast. Okay, and row 5, I just did another row of single crochet across the top of the blanket here. I don't usually do that on this version, but I wanted to end on the right side of the blanket because we have the ridges on the right side. Now, if you wanted some of your ridges to be on the wrong side, so that you would, like for instance, just say you wanted to alternate the ridge side of the blanket, instead of doing front post, you could do back post. So you could do front post on this row, this repeat, and then do back post on this repeat, front post, back post. And then your blanket would be, you'd have ridges on both sides. That's one option that you could do. Okay. So I'm going to actually go ahead and work down the side and show you what I do with these ends. I'm not going to work all the way around, but I am going to go down the side to show you how I do that. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and measure this and explain to you how you can use this swatch to resize your blanket. You didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything. We just started. This is just the 3rd day, so you're welcome to join in on the crochet along. Let's see. And it's not your typical crochet along. Like, I know some people do these crochet alongs where they release part 1 of the pattern, and then they release part 2 of the pattern, and then they release part 3. I don't do it like that because I have noticed that I have a lot of people in my community that I release a pattern and they say, this is great. How do I make it bigger? How do I make it smaller? How do I do it like this? How do I do it like that? So people want to customize. So what I do is I have the crochet along and I say, pick your pattern. And then I come on here and I show the techniques rather than just like stitch by stitch going through patterns. So if you watch my videos, the videos are not patterns. The videos are just to help enhance the pattern and help you understand it. Okay, so I tell everybody when they're doing a 6-day blanket to start with a swatch. And I swatch every time I'm starting a new design or I'm doing new yarn, new colors, new something. Yeah, absolutely. The videos is going to be on my YouTube and everywhere else. So you just have to wait for me to get done and then it'll post. Yeah. Okay, so this is 8 inches wide. Now I want to use, let's see, these colors to do a full adult size blanket in Ridgy Didge. Okay. So I normally do adult size blankets. I normally do 50 inches by 60 inches. So what I would do, oh, my phone is being used for a thing. Let's see if I wrote it down. I wrote down what I did. So what I would do would be to take 50 inches, which is the total width that I want, And let's see, did I write it down? Yes. Except in my notes, it says the swatch was only 7 inches wide. Okay, now it's 8. So I would divide 50 inches by 7 or 8 or whatever it turns out to be. I must use this one. I must use the smaller hook on this. So 50 by divided by 8 inches. So that's going to tell me how many swatch, like how many of these 8-inch widths I need to make 50 inches. Okay. So then whatever that number is, you have to multiply it by 2 because you have 2 points. And that will give you, that'll tell you how many points across. So I did figure out that this one would be 14 points wide. All right. So now I know I need 14 points in my blanket. So to calculate the starting chains, if I'm starting with a straight start, it would be 13 times 14 plus 4. So each one of these points is 13 stitches, okay? 13, 13, 13, 13, 13 times 14, and then plus 4, an additional 4, okay? So you multiply the number of points you figure it out that you need times 13. You take that number and you add 4, okay? So I do have a resize video. Like this is going to resize the same as the regular 6-day kid blanket. So if you look at one of those patterns, there's a chart in the pattern for that. So it's going to resize just the same, but really the best way to resize is to make a swatch like this and measure it out and figure it out for yourself. So for the length, I like to do 60 inches long. So when I measure this one out, it's 10. If I measure from top to bottom, it's 10, okay? If I measure just the stripe, I'm going to measure from ridge to ridge, it's about 3, okay? And then if I measure this little part here, it's about it's about 1.5, 2.5 total additional inches of length, okay, added from the square off portion here and here. That's additional 2.5 inches. So I want to go 60 inches long. I'm going to subtract 2.5 inches from here. And then that's going to give me, 57.5. Okay. And then I would divide 57.5 by 3. And that's going to give me the total number of stripes that I need. So it's going to be around 20 stripes, right? So 1, 2, 3. But we want to make sure that we end with the one that we started. So what you'll need to do is probably like map it out and draw it out and see if I go color A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, and I do 20 stripes, I'm not going to be, 20 is not going to get me back to the color A again. So you might have to add a couple at the top or take a couple away. Like with your length, you might not be able to hit an exact precise measurement because you're going to have to think about making these stripes match up. So usually for length, because 60 is not that long, I'm a short person. So usually for length, if my numbers don't come out even, I'll just go a little bit longer. I'll just make the blanket longer. And it's not like we're making a garment that has to fit exactly right. So we're not matching gauge here or doing anything like that. Okay. So that's how you measure your swatch and resize for any blanket. And I hope that helps. Please be sure to ask any questions that you have so they'll be part of the video. And I can answer them for you. I'm just checking all the places. Well, I almost have 20K on YouTube. So if you're not following me on YouTube, go on over and give me a follow so I can hit my 20K. That'll feel really great. I should have had this pulled up so I could see all questions. Can we start with a chainless foundation instead of the regular chain? Would it make a difference? So yes, you can. And if you do that, you will need one less chain, one less foundation single crochet than you need of chains. So I'm going to try not to go on a little rant here or anything, but this is something that I see often in the crochet community is newer crocheters who discover this technique and they're like, wow, this is the answer to my prayers. I never have to chain 300 chains again because there's this thing called foundation single crochet. Why would I ever chain? Well, you will want to test out foundation single crochet before you commit to it for an entire blanket. For me personally, it is not stable enough at the bottom of my blanket. My blankets that I've done with foundation single crochet have kind of splayed out and spread out at the bottom and stretched out. I use a lot of heavier yarns and a lot of acrylics and things like that, and I have kind of loose-ish tension. So for me, it does not work. So test it out before you commit to it. And, take your swatch and put it through the wash. Like, don't just blindly accept these things. And a lot of the time people say, oh, it's the magic this or the magic that, but it's really not magic. It's just a shortcut and it's not always better. So just when you're swapping out techniques, test them out, just be smart about it. Use your critical thinking skills and substitute things intelligently. Try them out, see if it works. I know a lot of people in my group use foundation single crochet for their blankets and they have no issues whatsoever. But for me, it does not work. It stretches. So I save it for things like hats, If you knit or learn how to knit, you will learn that there are a million different ways to, well, probably not a million, but there are loads and loads of different ways to cast on in knitting. And they each have their own purpose and some of them are stretchy, some of them are more stable. And so I've knitted quite a bit. And I think that's where I get some of my ideas come over here from the knitting world, where it's like, can you use foundation single crochet for a blanket? Yes, you can. Is it the appropriate beginning for a blanket? That depends. That depends on your tension. That depends on the technique of how you do it. It depends on, are you going to put an edge over it later? So try these things out. Don't just say like, oh, I hate chaining. I don't want to ever do that or work into a chain. Some things are worth taking a little more attention to detail on, and just making sure, especially if you're making things to sell, just like make sure that it's something for a baby or that people are going to wash. You don't want it to fall apart or stretch out or only be good up until that first wash, and then it stretches out or falls apart. So it's something as you get older or as you crochet more and work more and more, you do develop more of an eye for like detail and things like that. So that is the short answer is yes, you can. And the long answer is all that crap I just said. All right. So it says continue the border round. I'm not going to do the whole round, but I just want to crochet over this edge because a lot of people ask me or say that they have trouble with it. And I do have several videos doing it, but you can never have too many videos for this technique. That's what I think. So I'm just going to do it again, and I'll show you how I work over these ends that I tied no knots to hold in place there, um, and how I handle it. So from the top of that last row, it says with the ridge side facing, join color A I'm already joined. So I'm not going to join again. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to put 2 more stitches in here and go around the corner. And that's not what the pattern says, but that's what I'm doing. Okay. And then what I do is I treat these side stitches, the chain stitches, the double crochet, the single crochet, I treat it like a foundation single crochet. And I'm going to put my single crochet into those stitches, and I'm going under 2 threads and leaving 1 on the bottom. And then people always say, well, what's the rule of thumb? How many should I be doing? 3 to 2 or 2 to 3, like in knitting. And there is no, set way to do it, because my tension's going to be different from your tension. So you have to try it for yourself and continue as you're doing it to lay the work down, admire it, check it over, and make sure it's not ruffling or pulling. Okay. So here, I usually do like 1 stitch in the side of a single crochet, 2 in the side of a double crochet or a chain. And I just keep going down and checking it. Okay, now I have this end back here, and I want to make sure I catch the end on this last stitch. So I'm just going to work over it for 1 stitch and send it in the direction of the white. I'm going under 2. And this is the worst, most awkward, least fun part of the project, in my opinion. And I don't think anybody will fight me on that. Okay, now I'm working over the orange just for 1. I'm going to work over it for 1 more. And then I'm going to drop the tail. I'm just going under 2 threads. I'm working into the stitches. And I think personally that this is more even. And again, this is personal preference. I have a lot of people in my group that work into the spaces, okay? They just go right into the spaces, and they can't be bothered to do this technique. And it looks perfectly fine. And they like it. They're happy with it. And I'm not going to say that's the wrong way to do it. For me, I feel like this is more even for me, for my tension. And I like this little row that's created with the 1 thread that's left behind. It just creates like this little border that I like. Some people don't like it or don't want it. So if you don't like it and you don't want it, don't do it. Go into the spaces. Okay? Just when you go into the spaces, you'll see space, 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 and then you'll have a jump. Space, 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 and then a jump, right? So the stitches kind of bunch up. But like I said, I have people that do it, and their blankets are beautiful. So you make the call. It's your work. You get to decide. And all this, somebody said this is the right way, and somebody said this is the wrong way, and this is the best way, and this is the only way, and why would you ever want to do it any different way? All that is just like our mind having its negativity and its competitiveness and its lack mentality. It's not real. There's no one best way or right way or wrong way. Okay, I want to go back because I want to work over that orange for one stitch. Come on. And it's a pain in the butt, and it takes a long time. Keep laying it down, checking it. It's painstaking. I only got one thread that time. If I were not on a live, I might struggle a little bit more, but I kind of want to get through this and move on to the next thing. Those are too close. Okay, I think y'all get the idea about how I work down my sides. This is like, I'm even boring myself. Now, I know a lot of people find this helpful because I get questions about this a lot in my group. Hello, welcome. Okay, last one. Actually, done. I'm done. I'm done for now. I can't. I just can't anymore with that. Okay. There you go. Yeah. It's, so this is what I do. And I know I have people say in the group, well, how many should I have on this side and how many should I have on that side? And maybe I'm just being lazy by not figuring that out for you, but I honestly feel like it just depends on your tension. And it's more important to get the tension correct than it is to hit a certain number of stitches. If you do it consistently, you'll get close to the same number of stitches. And then usually on the border, if it's something that has like a stitch repeat, it usually has some kind of setup row. And then I'll say, adjust your skips or fudge your skips so that you have the right number. Andrew says, do you stop at the bottom and cut the yarn and reattach? No, I do not. I continue around. So I'll keep going because people still have questions. And I probably won't move on to the retro rainbow today because it's already 4 o'clock. I've been here for 2 hours. And I got to give my legs a break. My desk chair here is right by the window, and I see all these people on their way to the beach. And I envy them. Okay, I usually don't work over it that far. Yeah, only work over the ends for 1 or 2 stitches just to like aim them in the direction of the color that they match. Okay, I'm not trying to finish my blanket that way. Okay, so here you go, Andrew. When I get to the color, the corner, this is what I do. I do 3 stitches, 3 single crochet. And then I crochet into, I work across the bottom edge and I work under. So here I go with my starting chain. When I do my single crochet into my foundation chain, I just go under 1 loop. So now I have 2 loops left. So I go under those 2 loops of my foundation chain. You're so welcome. Thanks for asking. Okay, in the last stitch of the row, I make 3. And then I'll start working up the side, just like I did on the other side. Going under 2. And leaving 1 below. Now the other thing I have suggested in the pattern that you use, that if your edges curl a lot, that you should consider chaining 4 instead of chaining 3. And then that's going to impact, I'm kind of going back to an earlier question, that's going to impact how many stitches you're going to have going up the side of your blanket. So if you've chained extra stitches or you've done extended double crochet on the sides to give your sides a little, looser tension so they don't curl as much, then you're not going to want to do a 1-to-1 stitch ratio going up the side, meaning you're not going to want to do 3 single crochet or 1 single crochet in each chain stitch, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet and extended, like you don't really want to do it that way. It's not, it's nice to have a number or have somebody say like, this is the rule and this is the way that you do it. But really for this, you really have to use your judgment. You have to have some confidence in your skills and use your judgment. And the goal is to make this nice and even and that it doesn't ruffle and it doesn't pucker. It should just lay flat, completely flat, and it should be pretty straight. Hi, Maddie. She says she's working on, or they say they're working on the 6-day star blanket. So fun. Make sure you tag me in that so I can see it. I guess I'll just finish this after all, since I'm not moving on to the next project today. So tomorrow I'll do the retro rainbow and show carrying the yarn up the sides, even though I don't believe in it anymore. I'll do that tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going up to Virginia Beach to get my hair cut, and that is an all-day adventure because I live on the Outer Banks. And so I won't be doing the crochet along until, won't be live until 9 p.m. tomorrow night. Whoops. Oh, goodness. Sometimes I have a hard time deciding where the next one should go. Oh, why did I think it was 4 o'clock? It's only 3 o'clock. Okay, there you go. So, finish with 2 single crochet in the same space as the first single crochet of the top edge row 4. That should, yes, that's that one. Join with a slip stitch. Do not fasten off. Okay. So that's what the pattern says to do. It says to round the corner, and then the border round 2 starts right there. That's what it ends up looking like on the back. There's my ends. Let's see, this one, I'll end up weaving it in up into here, and then this one, I'll go like over like that and back and forth. And this one will go over here, back and forth. So, you know, I can weave them back into the blanket where they will never show. So should a person count both sides as they have the same stitch? No. I don't count them. I don't count them. I just do it. I do it consistently, and I prioritize making this lay flat. Okay? Because if I have to have a certain number of stitches, it might be too many or too few for my tension. So I prioritize doing it perfectly flat. And then on my first border round, it is like a setup round. Then I will adjust my skips. I'll fudge. I'll make any adjustments that I need there to make the multiples work out. It will never show. But if this is like too tight, there's too many stitches or too few stitches, because you're trying to make that side the same as this side, then it's, you know, it might pucker, or it might ruffle. So there's not going to be that big of a discrepancy between sides because you did the same thing on both sides. You have the same number of rows. So you should never be off by more than a few, as long as you're doing it consistently. Counting stitches is important, but sometimes when you're a new crocheter, you get really hung up on counting the stitches. It's because you were doing your back and forth, double crochet or whatever first project, and it was getting bigger or it was getting smaller and you didn't know what you were doing. And whoever taught you how to crochet said count every stitch as you're going across and make sure you have the same one. But that's not always the solution, is knowing the number of stitches or having the correct number of stitches. Like I find this with the star blanket, people will say, well, how many stitches am I supposed to have? Well, if you don't have the right number that will make the pattern work out, me giving you a number and having you artificially create that number is just going to cause problems later on, because you're going to keep creating this same problem where you're not really following the instructions. You're just fudging to get the right number. So it's just like what I said to Andrew about the using the foundation single crochet, like use critical thinking when you are, applying some of these rules and things and what you were taught to do. And I'm not saying counting every stitch is wrong. And it certainly is not. It's a skill that we need to do in crochet. But in this instance, having the same number of stitches on each side is it's overriding your tension to make these edges completely flat. So I would just do what you got to do to make it lay flat, and then you can go back on the next round and you can make little adjustments in your skips to make sure that the border works out properly. That's exactly what I do, and that's how I write my patterns as well. I don't say do your edge stitch and make sure you have 122 stitches. I don't find it helpful. I hope that helps answer your question. Well, it's 3:15. I don't really think starting on something else would be useful at this point, so I think I'm going to go ahead and stop, and then tomorrow I'll do the retro rainbow, the back and forth with the edges, and we'll move on from there. So those are the things that I have planned. That the retro rainbow, carrying the yarn. I'd like to do a swatch for the Sweetheart rainbow blanket, and I would like to work on the Lovey. So that's 3 things. We have 3 days left. I'll try and do all that, and I'll try and see if I can get Goth Fairies in here to talk about her Fairy Lovey. If you have questions, there's many places you can post those. The Facebook groups, and you can tag me on TikTok. You can tag me on Instagram. Make sure you're posting your progress photos every day if you would like a chance of a little swag gift from me at the end of the crochet along. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Mwah. Where's my thing?